Today is November 11th, 2025. Now, there are a lot of bank holidays going on today. Earlier in the morning, there was news from United Kingdom, that's GBP, which came out bad for the pound. But then after that, every other event today is, good afternoon. Good afternoon to, who's this? Madam Onaji, good afternoon. Tony, good afternoon, sir. So we have three of these countries, Europe, Canada, and US, having a bank holiday. Now, the implication of the market is that the market might just be slow because there's no tradable events, just holidays. That may lead to some slow movement in price. Good afternoon, Mr. Adeko Ishegun. All right, so that being said, there's no tradable event this afternoon, but we may expect some ranging or some slow movements in the market. So I'll switch over to the charts to see any trading opportunity for us. Good afternoon, Ayomikun Odunaike. All right, so as usual, we start with the dollar, then we check other instruments. When I had a weekly outlook yesterday, Monday, I remember telling us that I maintained a bearish outlook on the dollar from what I saw on the dollar index. This is the dollar index, last week closed with a rejection candle on the resistance level. Technically, we're looking for a downward movement on the dollar for this week. Good afternoon, Ochong. All right, so with that being said, we check the USD JPY. Now, for the USD JPY on the 1 hour time frame, I'm seeing the potential for a bearish movement. We have a resistance level of 1 hour and a head and shoulder pattern, shoulder, head, second shoulder being formed. So we're expecting a breakout to the bearish direction on the USD JPY. Price is expected to drop to hit the trend line on the 1 hour. Now, we're also waiting for RSI to cross below 50. If that happens, then we may be able to trigger a sell on the USD JPY. So we're bearish on the USD JPY on 1 hour time frame. Now, if the USD JPY will go bearish, there's a high tendency if gold is able to break out above the current resistance level, then we may see a further bullish breakout on gold. Earlier on, when we started the week yesterday, gold started with a double bottom pattern on the daily time frame, and it has hit the resistance on the daily time frame. But then, price is trading around that resistance level now on 1 hour. If the USD JPY will make a drop because of what we saw on the dollar index and USD JPY, then we may see a further bullish breakout on gold. So gold might break out, retest, and continue going higher. So watch out for a possible bullish breakout on gold. Now for GBP USD, we said that we have a bearish outlook on the USD JPY and the dollar index. For GBP USD, price has formed an inverse head and shoulder with price currently retesting the neckline. We might be anticipating a further bullish breakout on the GBP USD. Now, this is a swing, it's a 4 hour. It may take more time to materialize compared to what we saw on the USD JPY. And the reason also for this bullish outlook is a recent psychological level, which is acting as a support at 1.3000 for GBP USD. So we have a technical bullish outlook on the GBP USD. We're only waiting for price to break above this minor resistance to trigger, into the bullish direction. So we're bearish on the USD JPY, we're bullish on gold, we're bullish on the GBP USD. And I also have a bullish outlook on the NZD USD on the 4 hour. Actually, this analysis starts from the daily time frame, because on the daily time frame for the NZD USD, I can see here, a falling wedge, price making lower highs and lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and lower low. So price has touched the trend line multiple times and is back to the trend line as a lower low at this point. So this region here, we're expecting a movement to the upside to touch the other trend line. So if we take it down to the 4-hour time frame, we'll see that at that spot where the price touched the trend line, we're seeing the formation of an inverse head and shoulder. If price breaks out above the neckline, then we'll see an upside movement on the NZD USD. Now, this is actually a 4-hour setup, but since it's the inverse head and shoulder, you may also apply it on 1 hour. It can work for 1 hour also. For the 1 hour, you may want to trigger an earlier entry if price makes a break above the current neckline. The new candle breaks out above this current region, you may trigger an earlier entry compared to the 4-hour. So I'm bullish on the NZD USD on the 1 hour and 4-hour. Finally, I drew the setup yesterday on Euro NZD when we had the analysis, and I said I was bearish on the Euro NZD yesterday. The analysis still stands. Market is yet to break out. For the Euro NZD, on the daily time frame, price hit a psychological level at 2.06000. That's this region. And also we have a rejection candle there with a rising wedge pattern. So this point here is a point of confluence where we have price hitting a psychological level, a trend line, and a rejection candle. Technically, we're looking for a downward movement on Euro NZD. So if we move down to 1 hour time frame, we're seeing what looked like it was trying to form a head and shoulder yesterday, but then probably because volatility is low today, we've seen some range. But if price breaks out below this neckline, this box, we'll see a further bearish breakout on the Euro NZD. All right, so that'll be all from analysis. I'll do a little recap. We're bearish on USD JPY on 1 hour. We're bullish on gold on 1 hour. We're bullish on the GBP USD on 4 hour. We're bullish on the NZD USD 1 hour and 4 hour. And we're bearish on the Euro NZD on 1 hour. So please take note of all this setup and watch it closely, as the day unfolds for any opportunity around them. Okay, that'll be all from analysis. If you have a question, you can post it and I'll quickly attend to that as we begin to round up. You're welcome, Mr. Deko Ishegun. All right, in the absence of any question or any request.
Sorry, sir, please, I don't know if you can highlight a BTC for us, BTC USD. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am. All right, so I'll check BTC USD and Mr. Building is asking me to check GBP JPY. So let's quickly.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, so this is BTC USD on the daily time frame. Price currently is forming a rejection candle. It's on the daily time frame. Anything can still happen before the day winds up, but at least that is what I'm seeing at the moment. But the area of focus now is that rejection candle is actually resting on a previous support turn resistance. So we have support, support, support. This range is close, support, turn resistance. So technically, we're looking for a downward movement on the BTC USD. Let me see if the trend line too is connecting. On the daily time frame, yes. So we have price descending on the daily with on the daily trend line with a support turn resistance. Technically, we're looking for a downward movement on BTC USD. So we'll go down to 4-hour and 1 hour. Well, this is what I perceive may happen. We may end up with a shoulder ahead. Price may push up again to retest the second shoulder, then from where we expect a downward movement. And there's also a trend line around that region. So we're going to anticipate a breakout. This is the neckline. Price will break out below the neckline and the trend line. Then we'll see a further bearish movement on BTC USD. RSI is already below 50. MACD is about to cross below 0. So it's already trying to get into that bearish zone. We only need that breakout to happen to trigger a sell. So I'm bearish on the BTC USD.
Thank you very much. I'm very grateful. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. GBP JPY. All right, so for GBP/JPY, price is descending on the 4-hour and also coincides with a resistance. So this is a point of confluence where the trend line and the resistance is meeting. Technically, we should be looking for a bearish movement on the GBP/JPY. But then let's go down to 1 hour. On 1 hour time frame is trying to form a shoulder ahead. Price may go for a second shoulder from where we might expect a drop. This region here will be the neckline. So we anticipate a breakout of price below that neckline. Confirmation will be RSI below 50. If MACD crosses below 0, fine. If not, the RSI will just suffice. But technically, we're looking for a bearish breakout on the GBP/JPY. So that's for Biodun. So finally, you're welcome, Mr. Biodun. Tony is asking me, Mr. Tony is asking me to check AUDNZD. Okay, this is my personal opinion. Personally, I don't trade this particular currency pair because it can be very, very unstable. But since you asked, I will definitely analyze it for you. There's no resistance in view. However, price is making a higher high the third time here. We might see some bearish movement or some, let me say, some retracement. Yeah, it's trying to form a rising wedge. So there might be some retracement at that point. But then that's still on the daily. Let's go to the lower time frame. This is a 4-hour, 1 hour. All right, this will be better off on 4-hour as a swing. So we have price hitting the trend line up there, and we might expect a movement downwards with a head and shoulder pattern and a breakout. RSI should be clearly below 50 at the point of entry. So I'm bearish on the AUD NZD. That's for Mr. Tony. All right, so that'll be the last one I'll take. And that will also be the end of the analysis. Trade safe and enjoy the rest of the day.